Peace and blessings, family. I hope that everyone is having an amazing day. I hope that you are doing well. We are back in effect with the Level Up Show. For those of you who know me, hello, hello. For those of you who don't, my name is Jessika Black. I'm a motivational speaker and a life coach. My focus is leadership development and personal development. I have been doing this work on the ground for over 20 years. I have been very successful in helping people to gain clarity in their thoughts, leading to setting, planning, creating, and executing their goals. I also have been coaching people in claiming and stepping into their own power and really owning their own lives, and also supporting people in developing leadership and personal development skills. So I am excited. This is the Level Up Group. The Level Up Group is a place where we are working to enhance the quality of our lives by challenging limiting thoughts and beliefs and accepting abundance. All right, so I'm excited about today. I had a whole plan, but it's not about me, so my plan is going down the drain. Today I was going to talk about the importance of rising up, but before we can rise up, we have to understand how to get up. And so we're going to be talking today about how to get up. Hi, I'm Max. How are you? Good to see you. All right. So let's get to it. All right, getting up. All of us have situations in life that we face that feel like they knock us down. Situations that involve other people sometimes, disappointment in our plans, that can involve obstacles and challenges getting in our way, and us just feeling like not worthy almost. And so we want to talk about that today. And so I'm going to talk about a time where I felt like that. So being 19 years old and having a child, living in public housing and not having a lot of skills, I knew in the inside of me that there was something more, that I should be something more, that I was going to do something more. I did not necessarily know how I was going to get there. So the ways that I took about getting there was I listened to what everybody else was telling me. Because at the time, I didn't have value in myself. I didn't have value in my intellect. And I didn't even understand what self-worth was. So I really listened to other people. So in listening to other people, people are like, if you want to make it out, you have to go to school, you have to get an education, and that is the way that you're going to be able to get out for you and your child. So that's what I did. I went to school. I hated it. I did not like school. Not because I couldn't meet the academics, but because I was completely uncomfortable. I was unprepared for college. When I went to college, I was in all remedial classes, with the exception of English. So when I got to the English class, the teacher was more like trying to research my life. And so she was being too nosy and being all in my business. And I said, I don't want to do this. So I went and I got a job being a waitress. And when I was in that position being a waitress, I was losing some things. I was losing my hope. I was losing my drive. My purpose was fading away. And there were these ladies that were at this table. And I greeted them like I greeted everyone else. And the woman said to me, "Can I pray for you?" And I said, "Yes." So I allowed the woman to pray for me. They took my shoes off, washed my feet, all kind of stuff. But it was in that moment that I realized that I'm not completely alone. And sometimes there are people in your life who see things in you that you don't even see inside of yourself. Sometimes there are people in places that are praying for you, that are fighting for you when you can't even fight yourself, when you feel like you don't have any fight yourself. And so I say that to say, because in order for you to get up, you got to pay attention. You got to pay attention to what's going on around you. Every no does not mean that the game is over. Sometimes you get a no because that's what you're supposed to get, because that thing is not for you. Sometimes you get a no so you can grow. Sometimes you get a no because it doesn't fit into your path and into your purpose. See, we are all created as divine beings, and in our divineness, in our divinity, we all have specific purposes. That's why in this series, Self-Driven, Self-Risen, Self-Made, we talked about very early on finding your purpose and allowing, like, taking your pain and turning it into passion, acknowledging your purpose. All of these things are very, very, very important. Hey, Nina, how you doing? It's good to see you. So yeah, so we all tend to adopt things that don't necessarily belong to us, right? So we can adopt second guessing ourselves, not really trusting who we are, not really trusting our own intellect, not really trusting in our own belief systems. We can adopt somebody else's problems. We can adopt sadness from other people. We can adopt other people's perceptions of us. And when other people's perceptions of us get into our way, what happens is we lose sight of our purpose because we start feeding into that perception. That is why I always talk about the importance of being focused. That is why I always talk about the importance of knowing who you are and believing in yourself. Everybody around you is not going to believe in your purpose. Everybody around you is not going to agree with you. Everybody around you is not going to be able to see that vision. But then there are those folks that will rise. They will rise up, and they will see something in you that you cannot see in yourself. So having the spirit of discernment is also really important when you are navigating this path and this journey of life. Okay? It is important. And so sometimes those struggles come, and they come to actually make us better. So when we get these no's, don't look at the no as a losing opportunity. It is a winning opportunity. You don't want to adopt something else that doesn't belong to you. Sometimes our intentionality and what we want to have in life is very different than our divine path and our divine purpose. So when we get these no's, those are blessings. They're not always to discourage you. Sometimes they are to encourage you to keep looking, keep thriving, keep going, keep moving. A lot of us have found ourselves, especially in this time of COVID-19, just to be honest, like the Walking Dead. We got to jump out of the spirit of the Walking Dead. It is time for us to be alive. We are in a country where we are seeing an uprising. There is a demand on us and on our spirit to rise up. We have to rise up. So you have to get up so that you can rise up, so that you can go out and you can claim what it is that is for you. You cannot get those things if you are asleep. And you can be asleep in a lot of different ways. Some people are asleep because they're focused on problems and not the solution. Oh, I have anxiety. I'm down. I'm depressed. You have to be careful. There's power in your words. This week I put a lot of information out there about the power of your tongue. Life and death literally exist in your tongue. So if you want something different in your life, not only do you have to move differently, you have to speak differently. You have to speak differently to yourself, and you have to speak differently to the people around you, right? And so when you're getting up, you start to become conscious of these things. So I'm giving you game for free. Take the nugget. You have to speak life into you. So be careful of your thoughts. Be careful of your words. Be careful of your actions. The things that you do when you're using discernment have intentionality behind them. Don't just do something just to be doing it. Do something knowing that you have a purpose behind what you're doing. You're doing it for a reason. Let me see some hearts if you can relate to that. Hey, Erica. Hi, Nina. So there's also times when we're in this spirit of the Walking Dead, unconscious, where we just feel stuck and we feel fearful, right? But to be stuck is to be complacent, right? So you don't want, this is not the time to be complacent. The entire world is in the midst of an uprising. Are you going to stay asleep, or are you going to get up and go get what belongs to you? Right? So that can be anything. It doesn't, I know that we're in a position where many of us can't leave our homes. We're in a shelter and stay, but that doesn't mean that there aren't things for you to get up and get. Sometimes you got to get your peace of mind back. Sometimes you got to get your creativity back. Sometimes you got to get your clarity back. And that takes work. That takes focus. And I don't know how other people do it. For me, that takes prayer. That takes meditation. I like to write. I like to read. I like to listen to music. Sometimes I like to cook in order for those gifts that belong to me to be restored. So I have to activate myself in order to actualize the things that exist inside of me. And my recommendation is for folks, while we are in this time of an uprising and there is a demand on our lives to rise up, is to activate yourself. Find what that is for you. Let me see some hearts if that makes sense for you. Yes. And so this idea of getting up, when you get up, you have to eliminate self-doubt. You got to eliminate it. You cannot doubt yourself. You can't count yourself out of the game before the game even gets started. And yes, we are faced with challenges in life. Yes, we are. We are faced with things that can be difficult, things that can be hurtful, things that can be painful. But you never let Nipsey Hussle said this, and this is so beautiful to me. You never let a hard time humble you. You understand what I'm saying? Doesn't mean it's different than having humility. But you don't fall and stay down because something got in your way. You utilize that opportunity, acknowledge your pain, acknowledge the situation you're going through, and get up and move forward. Have you all ever, I want to see some people drop some ones because I want to make sure that I ain't by myself on this one. Have you ever experienced a situation that you thought was just horrible and it felt like it was the end of the world? And in it feeling like it was the end of the world, when you look back, you're like, oh, thank God I missed the blow. Oh, I'm so glad that situation happened. Or that's not the end of the world. You experienced some level of growth from it. Let me see some ones if you could relate. Drop some ones in the comments if you could relate. I think I got a little bit of a lag too. Yes. So you have to remember that you have to be the change you want to see. So when we talk about motivation, when we talk about fuel, when we talk about moving forward, you have to embrace those times. You have to be willing to fail. Success will not come if you don't fall. But when you fall, don't get stuck. Fail forward. How do you fare forward? You look at that lesson. You look at how you fell. You get the lesson from there, and then you move forward. You have to be able to embrace these things. You have to be able to take a look at yourself, at your life experience, and say, okay, that didn't work this time, but give yourself 1,000 chances over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. A lot of times we have more patience for other people and their problems and their situations than we have for ourselves. You have to afford some of that for you. So if you fail forward. That means that you're falling towards success. And the only way to get to success is to make multiple mistakes, is to learn many lessons, right? And to keep trying and never give up on you. Other people will give up on you. Other people will do that. Other people will give up on you. Other people will doubt you. Other people will count you out. Other people will leave you hanging. That is why it always trips me out when I start going to the Bible. But in the Bible, it says that it is your job, that it is your responsibility to guard your heart. So that is on you. So when you're guarding your heart, that means that you're guarding your mind, you're guarding your spirit, you're guarding your heart, you're guarding all of the ways in which the gifts inside of you need to expound. You cannot allow something else to come inside of you or come from the outside into the inside and ruin your blessings. You don't want that. And so you have to also believe that the whole goal of living life is a consistent cycle of failing forward to get to success. But you have to believe in your ability and your higher power's ability to heal, restore, and redeem. Through healing, restoration, and redemption, all things are possible. All things are possible, which means that we take those lessons learned again and we move forward. And those lessons actually are designed to help us stretch, to help us grow, to build our muscle. Because when you're walking inside of your divinity, when you're walking inside of your purpose, when you are reaching out and you are trying to meet your goals, you're going to have some challenges. And at every level, there's something new for you to learn. Every level. For instance, today, like I was saying to you all earlier, I had this whole thing planned, this whole thing I wanted to talk about, but it ain't about me, so it doesn't matter what I wanted to talk about. I understand my position as a servant leader. I understand my position is to serve. I understand my gift it's not only for me, and it is not even really about me, but it is for me to share with other people. So when I have my mind made up, sometimes it don't work that way. It ain't about what I think. And so here I am, giving to you what is on my heart. Sometimes we got to come to a breaking point. We need to talk about this. Because some of us, in order for us to get up, we got to get sick and tired and sick and tired and tired and sick of what is happening in our lives and what is happening around us. People can tell us anything. Anybody can sell you anything. But you have to get fed up. You got to get fed up. Sometimes some situations that are happening in our lives right now are intentional. We are intentionally bothered because it's time for us to become uncomplacent. So we are intentionally struggling. We are intentionally going through some things. You are being pushed. You are being pushed. It's time for you to go to another level. So yeah, life can be hard. Yeah, situations are nerve-wracking. Things are getting on your nerves and you are tired and you are sick. Get tired enough to get to your breaking point, because once you reach your breaking point, here comes your breakthrough. But you got to be tired, and you got to get sick and tired of being sick and tired. You got to get to that breaking point. There is power in the breaking point. A lot of people look outside, from the outside into your life, and they see you approaching your breaking point, and they're like, uh-oh, this girl or this man is about to go down. The whole time you're building a level of strength, right? You building a level of strength. That's what that is. Because once you get to that point where you have reached your breaking point, all type of power comes up out of you. Now you walking in your power. Now you standing in your power. Now you moving things out of your way. You're kicking mountain downs. You're knocking through doors. You're going to get that peace of mind that you need. You're going to get those things that are for you. Let me see some hearts if you feel me on that. I came by here today because there's somebody, I don't know who it is, there's some people somewhere that need to understand that change that you're looking for is the change that you have to be. And it does exist inside of you. But you got to get your willpower together. You got to get your self-determination together. You got to get your motivation back. You can't allow situations, people's, places, or things to steal your joy, to steal your peace of mind, to steal your purpose. You will go. Your energy will go. Your hope will fade. Self-doubt will kick in. Fear will kick in. And it will bury the very essence of you. So I came by today to tell somebody who may be sitting around looking for somebody else to come and fix it for them, or relying on somebody else. No, this is your responsibility. You got to do this one step at a time, one day at a time. And you have to be kind to yourself through this process. You have to be kind to yourself through this process, because it is a process. And then you have to be willing to invest in yourself. Are you willing to invest in yourself for the long haul? Which means going back to that place of failure. You're willing to fail forward because you're investing in you. You're willing to do that. You're willing to go through these struggles to get to where it is that you need to be. Some of us have things that we want. Some of us have ways that we want to move. And it's very, very possible. But do you have the endurance? Do you have the endurance for the thing that you are trying to get to? You have to have endurance in this journey of life. You have to have endurance, and I'm just going to speak it. You have to have endurance and faith. You have to have faith. You have to have faith. When you lack faith, you're lacking purpose, you're lacking opportunity. And this ain't about living a life of lack and limitations. We over here in this group, these conversations are private for a reason. Because this ain't for everybody. But when you decide to accept the invitation, you decide to fill out those questions, you decide to jump on these lives, these are for you. I'm talking, but I'm also talking to myself. This is us in this group. This is what we decided, that we're kicking down lack, we're kicking down limitations, and that we're leveling up. So now I'm pushing us, all of us. We got to get up so that we can rise up to level up. Because some of us can't level up from where we are right now because we're asleep. You can't level up if you ain't paying attention. The whole time you're asleep, you're being robbed of all the things that you need in order to level up. There's power in your purpose. That's why this isn't easy. Because there is power in you. You are powerful. You have power inside of you. When you start to doubt yourself, you are starting to diminish that power. When you are fearful of things, you are diminishing that power. Remember that all of these things exist for you to rise up, for you to get to the next level. So when you feel yourself being fearful of something, rise to the occasion. Step up and do it. Step up and do it. Don't let nothing and nobody stop you from what it is that you have to do for you, right? Because again, we're living this journey of life, and each one of us has a purpose, and each one of our purposes is connected to a service. So each one of us are filled with gifts to help heal or serve people in some kind of way. We can't let fear have us missing our assignment. In this uprising that is happening in the world today, some people are going to lose. Some people are going to miss their marks. Some people are going to miss their purposes because they're not listening. Because they're not listening, or because they're allowing fear, self-doubt to win. I encourage you to listen. I encourage you to give yourself those chances. I encourage you to step up to the plate. I encourage you to keep moving forward. I encourage you to allow yourself to fall. Allow yourself to fail. That is a part of success. Allow the mistakes. Take the time to reflect. Learn from things. And this is how you turn everything into a win. But if you refuse to get up and you want to stay comfortable and you want to stay complacent and you want to stay stuck, you will miss your mark. And there is somebody out there that is thirsty right now. There is somebody out there that wants something for their own self so bad, and they are emitting and transmitting that energy into the universe, and it will skip completely over you and go to them because they're willing. So now is a time to get up. Everything around us is moving. Everything around us is on a rise. Don't look at just the problems. Find the solution. Have a solution-oriented mindset. And a lot of us have big ambitions and we get stuck on the process. Get started. Just get started. Just do it. Just do it. And yeah, you'll have to be your own cheerleader. You'll have to be your own coach. You'll have to be your own player. But as soon as you start putting those things out there, guess what'll happen? All of a sudden you'll find You'll find somebody that's aligned with you. Your environment will start to align with you. Things will start to happen and you'll be like, wow, how did this happen? This is amazing. Or as we need to change our language a lot of times, sometimes people are like, this is crazy. It's not. It's intentional. It's by design. Completely by design. So I'm gonna hop into some things that we can do. Number one, we have to establish self-determination. Again, that goes back to wanting the thing so bad that you are determined, no matter how many times you fail, no matter how many doors you knock on and you get a no, that every time you give yourself the opportunity to get up and go get it. So you have to have that. Inside of self-determination means you have to have willpower, which means that even when you're tired, even when you feel like you don't got no more energy, you go as long as you can go. Because when you think about running a race, it's not the people who run the fastest that are able to run the longer races. You learn to run those longer races by running short stints. That's called building endurance. And so you have to build those short stints with your willpower. Once you have your willpower in alignment, then you can push and fuel your self-determination, which will fuel self-discipline. I'll say that again for you. Your willpower will fuel your self-determination. Your self-determination will fuel self-discipline. It's a system. It's a system. So number one, that's one thing you can do. Number two, we talked about this. Being a problem solver. Don't get stuck in the problem. That's like, sometimes it's almost like defeating the purpose of an obstacle that is sitting in front of you and all you have to do is find a solution. Can you go over it? Can you go under it? Can you go through it? Can you go around it? Or can you just walk by it? Sometimes we have to make decisions about what we're giving our energy to. A lot of times we give our energy to things that don't even deserve our energy. They don't even want our energy. It's not even worth our time. And so be a problem solver. Have a solution-based mindset. When things come in front of you, don't allow them to knock you down. Figure it out. You're intelligent and you're not alone. You're not alone. Remember earlier in the conversation we talked about sometimes you have those people in those places that are fighting for you when you think you can't fight for yourself. People are praying for you when you ain't praying for yourself. People are believing in you when you don't believe in yourself, right? Those prayers that people talk about, those prayers, the prayers of our grandmothers are real. They still exist today. So if you are walking around and you feeling like you completely empty and you completely alone, you're not. You're not. Not only is the spirit of God real, but the spirit of our ancestors are real too. So those prayers still have weight. Those prayers are like seeds of faith, seeds of power that exist inside of you. So you got to get up. You got to get up. You have a duty to get up. The next one, tip 3. Eliminate self-doubt. You got to completely eliminate self-doubt. How do you eliminate self-doubt? Because that's easy to say. People throw that around. It's a continuous life process. It's not like you're going to wake up one day and you just have zero self-doubt. It's a continuous life process. You have to figure out what works for you in eliminating self-doubt. For me, when I start to second guess myself or I start to feel like, no, I can't do that, I rise to the occasion quickly. Quickly. That's my way of eliminating self-doubt, because I know that there is nothing that I put my mind to that I can't do. And that is the same for you. There is nothing that you put your mind to that you can't do. We do have to have patience. This society has taught us to want things very quickly, but everything don't come very quickly because we ain't ready for everything. We ain't ready for it. Sometimes people walk around and they're like, I want $1 million right now. If you got $1 million right now, you'll be broke next year. If you don't know how to budget, if you don't know how to manage your money, if you don't understand what the purpose in having that $1,000,000 is, if you don't understand how to reinvest, if you don't understand how to generationally invest, you won't have it. So take your $10 right now and be grateful for your $10, and let your $10 turn into $100, and let your $100 turn into $1,000, and let your $1,000 turn into $10,000, and let your $10,000 turn into $100,000, and let your $100,000 turn into that million. It's possible. So go through the process. Trust the process of life. People say it all the time, or at least I used to hear it when I was younger. You got to crawl before you walk. I'm grateful for crawling, because now when I walk with power. I wouldn't have been able to walk with power had I not crawled. Because if you think about the process, or if you even break that down, you think about the process, before you crawl, you have to learn how to get up. You got to be able to hold yourself up. And then you can start moving. And then you go to another level and you start to stand, but your legs have to gain strength, and you have to get your body in alignment in order to keep moving forward, in order to walk. And then once you walk, you can jog. And then once you jog, you can run. But every step is necessary for you to get through, because you learn something, you strengthen something along the way. Y'all feel what I'm saying? Let me see some hearts if you feel what I'm saying. Number 4. We talked about this a lot, and I know you probably gonna hear this from me a million times, but it's because we need a million reminders. Allow yourself to fail. Give yourself second chances, third chances, fourth chances, 1,000 chances. You have to give yourself an opportunity. You have to afford that to yourself. So that's tip number 4. And the last one is actualization. Bringing things forth into reality. How do you do that? Some of us are waiting to have the perfect plan. It don't work that way. Some of us are waiting to have all of the materials. It don't work that way. Some of us are waiting to have the perfect words. It don't work that way. Some of us are waiting for other people. It definitely don't work that way. You just got to get up, and you got to step out there, and you got to do it, and you got to go and learn along the way. And you got it. So those are the 4 tips, and I guess I gave 5 tips for today. I hope that everybody is doing good. I'm wondering, if there's anybody that wants to come into this live, if you have a statement, if there was something in here that was helpful for you, if you have something, if you want to give a reflection, if you got a testimony, let me know. You can request to come into the live, or if you drop a 1 in the comments, I can add you in the live. And Facebook has a little bit of a lag. I notice sometimes, like, I hop off and somebody would have been done answered. So either the 2 things you can do is request to come into the live, or drop a 1 in the comments so I know that you want to come into the live. Yes, it is time for us to get up. We cannot be sitting in this world, and the entire world is in an uprising, and we sitting here being members of the Walking Dead Club. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. That know that you got that, that's working in your favor. Bullet dodged. That's exactly what that is. All right. You got to accept the request. You're getting connected. Hey,
Hi,
how are you?
I am well, thank you. I
Good.
just
What would you
want to
like to share
say,
with us today?
I guess what I really want to share today is to say that I am so grateful that you came on today with your word. Um, I know that you don't want to take any credit for anything that you do or say, but I just want to thank God that you allow him to use you to get through to us. So that's really what I want to say today.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yes, you're
Very
right.
proud of
It's
you.
not me. It's all God. All
Yeah.
right. Thank you. Is
You're
there one thing
welcome.
that really stood out to you from today that you want to share with people? Like, was there like an aha moment or ooh, okay, that's a good reminder or a affirmation moment?
So when I was listening, I thought that everything was like a reminder. You know, I've been off work for about a year now, and there's some things that I have been.
Uh-oh, did we lose you? Did we lose you?
So
Oh, you came back. Okay. We had lost you for a little bit. Okay, maybe you got a bad connection. Okay, I'm gonna disable this. Hello? Oh,
Hit wait. Wait.
yeah.
wait,
Okay, you're in now.
you can hear me
Hello?
now.
Yeah, now I can hear you. You went out a little bit.
Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of, I'm just grateful that to get to jump on here and be able to hear what it is that you're saying. Very
You.
powerful.
Thank you. I'm grateful that you're here too. I really appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right, have a good one.
You as well.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. Is there anybody else who wants to come in, who wants to maybe like if there's something that was affirming for you, if there was um an aha moment, if you have questions about something that I said that you might want to share, is there anybody else who wants to jump in? And if you don't know how to request, at the bottom of your screen, if you're on your phone, there's like this two, it looks like two people kind of sign. You can hit that and I can accept you in, or you can drop a one in the comments and I will add you in. I see some hearts. Thank you. I appreciate that. I really appreciate and love every one of y'all. This is truly a journey that we are all on. One thing that I learned about my journey is that um, I used to be a person that was afraid to be vulnerable until I realized that there's power in being vulnerable. And part of my journey has been to go through a lot of things, not necessarily for myself, but so that I could share the lessons learned um, with other people. You never know who you're going to encounter who could benefit or who could gain strength from your struggle. And so don't be afraid to hop on the live. It's okay. It's okay. There's actually liberation when you call things out too. There's a way that you actually disempower it. Okay, let me see here. Hi, Lakeisha. That's right, Erica. Never give up, no matter how many times you fall. That's right. Okay. Drop a one if you want to come in the live. We got one person. Okay. I won't be calling people out. So if you guys don't have anything else that you want to share, I know, Erica, but see that you gotta face your fears. You gotta come on, girl. You can do it. If you got anything you want to share, I'll go over really quick for new people. The tips, you can watch the replay to get the full conversation. Today, we really talked about the importance of getting up. We talked about how some of us are in this place of being complacent and being stuck, and being a member of the Walking Dead Club, while the entire world is uprising, and there's a calling for us to rise up. But before we rise up, we have to get up, we have to wake up, and we have to step up, and we have to pay attention. And so the tips for today were establishing self determination, and then really breaking that down and understanding how willpower fuels self determination, which then fuels self discipline. And then we talked about the second tip being having a solution based mindset. So when you see in problems, not being afraid of the problems that you see, but being willing to be your own hero in solving those problems and finding solutions, and not getting stuck on the problem, but getting more infatuated and enamored with how can you get through this, how can you get around it, how can you get over it, can you move under it. And some things we just need to walk by, because some things don't warrant our attention. Tip number three we talked about was completely eliminating self-doubt. We talked about ways to be able to eliminate self-doubt, and how that is a journey, and how that is a continuous process. But how you have to come up with something for yourself to get rid of that, whether that is affirmations that we talked about, just saying to yourself, I'm not fearful, I am not afraid, I can do anything I put my mind to, I'm very intelligent. Whatever it is that you're facing, but speaking it out, disempowering the fear and empowering yourself. Um, we also talked about giving ourselves 1,000 chances to fail. 1,000 chances to fail. So if we fail, make sure that we fail forward. How do we fail forward? We look at how we fail, we take that lesson, and then we move forward. Those sometimes, though, like not even sometimes, all the time, those are necessary in order for us to become better, in order for us to become good, in order for us to become excellent, because there's levels to it. The fifth thing that we talked about was actualization. And what do we mean by actualization? Just get up and do the thing. Stop waiting for things to be perfect. Just go and learn along the way. There's more value in that. You appreciate that more than that. For people who are on here who have children, you know what that's like, when you are like, no, you're going to work for this so that you can appreciate it. Because as long as I just give you something, then you don't appreciate it the same way. But when you have to put your hard work, your tears, your sweat, your blood behind it, then you appreciate it. And so that is actually the same thing for us as adults with life too. And so we have to just get started. Go, do that hard work. Get out there. Do what you got to do. And so those are the 5 tips from today. And then finally, we were just landing if there was anybody who wanted to come in the live, who had an aha moment, who has a testimony, who has something they want to say about something they heard. If you have questions, the floor is open. And so if you don't know how to request in, we were just having you drop a 1 in the comments. And I'm kind of staying on because I know Facebook lags. And so if you drop your 1, I don't want to drop the live. That's not cool. That is not cool. If you don't want to come on the live, it would be very helpful if you would just drop one thing that you're taking with you today in the comments. That's always helpful to me. I love reading your comments. I love having conversation clearly. And so I do understand that some people are afraid of this camera, but we're gonna get you unafraid. Because remember, we're kicking down the door of fear. We're stepping up to it. So, all right. Well, everybody have a wonderful night. Thank you for tuning in. I look forward to seeing you guys next Tuesday. Also, thank you for your patience with me as I was doing moving in my purpose, doing the last couple of weeks, and not really being able to have the show consistently. I really appreciate that. Thank you. You do too, Nina. That's right. Oh, I like that, Erica. Make your failures worth it. Okay. Well, I'm gonna let you guys go. And again, don't forget to drop in the comments, either if you have questions, something that you're taking with you, if there was an affirmation, if there was a big aha moment, like, yeah, that's it. Talk to me. I talk back. You guys have a wonderful night and peace and blessings to you. Bye.